on that beat, going crazy. Rage on that beat, going crazy.
The 2021 recruiting cycle for the Texas Longhorns was again another transition class as Texas fired head coach Tom Herman after a decisive bowl thumping over the Colorado Buffaloes. The new coaching staff, led by new head coach Steve Sarkisian, sealed up the tail end of the cycle to give the Horns a somewhat respectable number 17 ranking. Since starting the Eyes on Texas channel last March, I have covered all 21 of the signees in this class, from the 3-star and former coal miner punter from down under, from Pro Crick Australia, Isaac Pearson, to the dual threat athlete from Denton Ryan, Jatavian Sanders, as Sanders flashes on offense as a split-out tight end who demonstrates Stacks US one-handed touchdowns, to a disruptive and self-motivated end on defense. This video series covers the top moments and highlights of all 21 signees in the 2021 cycle for the Texas Longhorns. So sit back, get yourself a beverage, and enjoy the show. Horns up. I produce Texas Longhorns football, college football, and Texas high school football content all the time. If these topics interest you, please hit the subscribe button now and like the video. Doing so helps the channel grow so I can provide even better content and upload more often. Thank you. Over the last few seasons, Texas has had Victor the Kicker on its squad. Now the Horns can boast another punter from down under, Isaac Pearson. The Pro Kick Australia product took a unique route to the collegiate punting ranks.
I was actually working as a plant mechanic in the coal mines. It was tough, that's for sure. It was really hard work, long hours. We'd have 12-hour shifts, night shift, weekends. No one wants to work in the mines for 40 years, so I thought I needed something that could get me out of there.
The Australian special teamer is the third in a row for the Horns as Pearson follows fellow Aussie punters Michael Dixon and Ryan Buszewski to the 40. Offensive tackle, Max Merrill. Max is the first of only 2 offensive linemen in the class for the Horns. The Houston native, playing his ball for straight Jesuit, fielded 41 offers for his services. But it was Texas that got the commitment late last September. Standing 6'4", 275 pounds, the prep star standout is viewed as a work-in-progress signee that needs to fill out and develop into a Big 12 offensive tackle. I'm going to be 100 with you. Texas offensive line recruiting was a big whiff this past season. Texas lost a pair of legacy twins on the O-line. Tommy and James Brockermeyer were both Texas legacies. Having several family members that were Horns, Texas lost out in other recruits, resulting in a lean offensive line class. The homegrown talent from Austin High in Austin, Texas, quarterback Charles Wright. This Texas native grew up loving the Longhorns, but when Texas didn't offer Charles a scholarship, he had no choice but to commit elsewhere, and at first, elsewhere was Iowa State. But when Jalen Monroe decommitted from Texas last fall during the quarterback shuffle, which we will not be talking about, Texas offered a scholarship to the local gunslinger, and Charles Wright pounced immediately, decommitting from the Cyclones and announcing his allegiance with the Horns. As a quarterback prospect, Charles is a natural leader who willed his team to victories on Friday nights, usually against more talented opponents. One who is athletic enough to extend and create plays, but is not elusive enough to be a dual threat quarterback. Charles has worked on his fairly smooth release of the ball, but can tighten up on his delivery to make it even quicker. But hey, Coach Sark is the quarterback guru, one of the greatest offensive minds in all of college football, who just turned a little-known 3-star quarterback in Mac Jones into the Davey O'Brien winner and potential first-round draft pick. With Charles having Coach Sark in his corner, he has no limits to his talents. Kane is a rangy 6'2", 175-pound wide receiver from Warren Easton High School in New Orleans, Louisiana. Known as a football power in the state, the Eagles are known for putting out top talent, and Kane is one of Warren Easton's recent stars. A true Mr. Go-Get-It and a true red zone threat, Casey displays a massive catch radius on film, which he needs to due to the fact that he is often widely under or overthrown the ball. But nonetheless, Casey Kane can do what all successful wide receivers can do at the next level, and that is get open and create separation when needed. The Longhorns double-dipped the Big Easy when Barron Sorrell signed with Texas on December 12th. From New Orleans, Louisiana, strong-side defensive end, Barron Sorrell. Playing everywhere on the defensive line for Holy Cross this past season, Barron's skills translate best at defensive end, where if you want to play rush end for Texas under new defensive coordinator Coach PK, you better display the ability to play traditionally in a three-point stance and play standing up to confuse the offense. Standing 6'3", 250 pounds, the Louisiana native was originally committed to Northwestern, where Rivals.com had Barron as one of the most underrated commits in all the Big Ten, but ultimately signing with the Horns mid-December. Where I was skeptical of the offensive line, the defensive front will be a disruptive force for years to come. Led in the middle by Keandre Colburn, Javondre Sweat, and phenom Alfred Collins, this group could pave the way for future titles for Texas. The third out-of-state commit in a row here for Texas is Gunnar Helm. Coming from Cherry Creek, Colorado, the back-to-back state champs are a perennial power in the Centennial State. At 6'5", 240 pounds, Gunnar played the majority of his football as a wide receiver before growing into his tight end position. Gunnar has been putting in work, becoming stronger as an inline blocker, but will always be predominantly played as a split-out tight end. In addition to being a threat to any downfield seam, Helm is also one kick-ass lacrosse player. Next up, one of the 3 reasons I started the Eyes on Texas channel, the Everman, Mr. Juan Davis. This is what a football player looks like. Never mind the dread over his face and his skin color, look at the eyes. I haven't made a video on Juan because my cinematic and editing skills were lacking and wouldn't do the Fort Worth standout justice. That should end soon. As a player on the field, I gave Juan the nickname the Everman because he plays almost every position on the field for his Bulldogs. You will see Juan line up at running back, quarterback, wide receiver, tight end, and has played some on defense. That's one of the reasons I focused in on Juan, his ability and willingness to play everywhere on the field to help his team. The other one was his unwavering commitment to Texas throughout his recruiting process. With all the different positions Juan can play on the field, his 6'4", 225-pound frame suits him best as a versatile tight end for Texas. You're my boy, Juan. I got you. Having a breakout senior season and putting himself on the Power 5 map, wide receiver Keithron Lee. Rated as the 516th best player in the nation, Lee's film displays big-time talent and abilities. The gritty receiver from Rudder High School in Bryan, Texas has the speed to go deep, but it's the slot position that suits Keithron best. Filling up the stat sheet for the Rangers, this slot receiver had over 1,100 yards rushing, over 2,300 yards receiving, and combined for 49 total touchdowns while in high school. Before his senior breakout campaign, Keithron was a lean towards the University of Texas at El Paso. And now, after dropping jaws on Friday nights last fall, Lee is now a member of the 2021 class for the Horns. That's going to wrap up this video. To see the next video in the series, be sure to subscribe to the channel, tap that bell so you can be notified of all future content, and remember, keep your head in a swivel and your eyes on Texas. Horns up.